name is Sherry MacLeod.
And I'm Beth Groom, and we're from Cape Breton Realty.
So we just thought we would pop on here today and talk a little bit about the exchange rate, because we've been talking a lot about that in the last few days, about the exchange rate with the US and Canadian dollars.
Yes, the Canadian dollar is sitting at about 70 cents per US dollar right now, which is giving Americans much better buying power now if they're coming to Canada to buy real estate or anything.
So that makes it very attractive for Americans to come here, of course, and to buy, right?
Yeah.
Now, it's not the first time that that's happened, obviously. I mean, I remember anyway that we had a 65-cent dollar, 20 years ago or more, and we had droves of Americans buying cottages and
a lot coming from New England and the East Coast and coming to Nova Scotia.
Exactly. Because I think a lot have connections, their grandparents were here, or their great-grandparents, or,
100 years ago, a lot of people from Nova Scotia were migrating to the US for work and things, so now they're coming back.
Exactly. And there's a new thing now with getting a Canadian passport. If you have ancestors from Canada, then that's one of the avenues to apply for a passport. Not to say you're going to get it, but most will, I think.
If you have family connections to Canada, it's a much easier application process.
It still takes a year or two. It doesn't mean you have to wait a year or two to buy if the opportunity is here now with the dollar the way it is. I think lots of Americans are going to look at the possibility of retiring here. Because after all, we have free health care and, we have a lot of benefits. And, why wouldn't they come? Right?
Absolutely.
And lots of them have been coming here every year since they're children, and why not? So, and if they have a Canadian passport, then their grandchildren can get Canadian passports, and it's just an extra layer of security. It doesn't mean they have to give up their American passport either, right?
No.
So it's kind of a good thing. But it did affect our market dramatically when that happened, right?
We did have a lot of people moving here, or buying summer homes. Seasonal.
Even just investing. A lot of people bought vacant land, like large oceanfront properties and stuff, because our prices are very affordable at the best of times. And when you take 30 cents off the dollar, makes a big difference. So for example, if you went to buy a $500,000, if you had $500,000 US to spend on a house here, you could easily buy one for $650 and almost $700. And and that's a big difference, right?
So, but getting into investing, the exchange rate is probably going to fluctuate back eventually, if you hold on to your investment. So in addition to the increase in the value of the property, you're going to take advantage of the change in the dollar when it happens.
And the government doesn't tax you on that. The exchange rate, the difference. So if you make money on the exchange rate.
Are you sure about that?
Yeah, I'm pretty darn sure. Because they take it in Canadian dollars, right? Everything is done in Canadian dollars. So you pay your capital gain rate on your capital gain.
That's right.
And at the end of the day, when you take your money back to the US, they don't say, "Oh, did you make money
file
on
a
your
tax return in Canada on the income, and then you bring it to the US, and it's already been taxed." Because Canada and the US have a tax agreement where you're only taxed in one country.
Exactly. So the difference is that you don't pay tax on that, actually. So if your dollar was 70 cents or 65 cents, for example, and then it went to 90, you make a darn good profit on that exchange, right?
That's true.
So, and so we've seen that happen. right?
Yep.
I've seen that happen. I guess you were a baby.
Yes.
But
Yeah.
Anyway,
So-
I just think it's a good opportunity, if people are thinking about buying in Nova Scotia or thought, that they couldn't buy because there's restrictions too.
There is. We should mention that.
Mhm.
That some parts of Cape Breton and all of Nova Scotia, there are certain pockets where people from outside of Canada are not able to buy.
Yeah, more densely populated areas, basically.
Right, around the cities.
But all of the rural areas are wide open.
Mm-hmm.
Anyone can buy them from anywhere.
Yeah.
So there is a foreign ban on, but we are exempt from the foreign ban in Richmond County, in Inverness County, Guysborough County.
3 of the 4 in Cape Breton, and many in the rest of Nova Scotia.
So basically the rural areas, which is where most people are looking to buy anyway.
Yeah.
So I think that's important to note because there was a lot of publicity about the ban, and people seem to think that they couldn't buy anymore, and that's not the case. And we love our American neighbors, so don't be feeling like
Yes.
all the issues over politics and crap is an issue either, because it's not.
No.
We love to see you, and the same goes in reverse. Lots of Canadians are traveling to the U.S., to Florida and stuff, and it's just the media likes to make a lot of hype over nothing, I think.
Yeah. So where do you see this going? Do you think that the dollar is going to continue to sit at the 70-cent mark for a little while?
Well, I don't have a crystal ball, but that's my line. I've been using it for a long time.
Yeah.
Right? I don't have a crystal ball, but I do believe that our dollar is probably going to go a little bit lower, right? It's at 70 cents now. I wouldn't be surprised if it went to 65 again or 62.
Yeah.
We are in a recession, right? So now is a very good opportunity because of, the trade talks and all this stuff going on. Our dollar has gone quite low, and it wasn't there for more than 20 years. I think it's not going to stay there forever, and it's a good opportunity for Americans to start picking up a few things, even
and it doesn't have to necessarily be $1 million property or anything, but to get your feet wet.
Get in the market, right?
Exactly.
Because even if you buy something that it's not the property that you necessarily wanted, but you spend $100,000 on a property, and in 2 years' time the dollar has changed, you're still selling that for 100,000 plus the maybe it's 150 by then or 120 or something, right? And you take that money and you spend it on something else in the marketplace, and you still gained, right? Because if you took the money in 2 years' time up here, it would have cost you so much more.
Right.
So yeah, it just makes a difference.
Yeah.
So the moral of the story is, if you want some help,
Yes.
yeah,
We can explain things in a bit more detail and let you know how you do the purchase, and you don't necessarily have to be here on closing day or anything like that. You can do things over the internet now, much easier than before.
Even showings. We can do showings that way. And you can't smell it, but we can. And we tell you everything there is to know about the place, and you probably you get your inspector in and all that stuff too. So you're just as we've learned a lot since COVID with that kind of stuff, and we can certainly do those things now much easier than we did 20 years ago.
We have the technology.
Definitely. So, okay, so in closing, I think that if you're looking to invest and you are thinking about purchasing, if you're a non-resident of Canada, if you have US dollars, you want some advice on where to see your what your dollar is worth here and that kind of stuff.
Or what's available in our market.
then feel free to message us or give us a call, right?